Welcome to the American Airpower Museum. We are located at the Republic Airport in East Farmingdale, New York. For over 12 years, we've presented World War II aircraft that are still operational and fly. Let's take a look at this important part of World War history and pay our respects to those that have sacrificed so much.
The Grumman TBM Avenger is a torpedo plane. What makes this plane so famous is the fact that our former president, George H.W. Bush, piloted this plane. After completing his mission, he was shot down near the end of the war. His 2 crewmen were lost, but he survived in the water for 4 hours and was picked up by a submarine and went on to lead our country as our 41st president. He has visited the American Airpower Museum and signed our Grumman Avenger on display. This is the heaviest single-engine plane of World War II. The Avenger could carry a 2,000-pound torpedo, or 500-pound bombs, or depth charges. A little-known fact is the actor Paul Newman was a radio man on a TBM Avenger.
We have models associated with the Jimmy Doolittle raid on Tokyo. In April of 1942, the war was only 4 to 5 months old. We were suffering from the conflict in the Pacific when Doolittle and 5 bombers made a daring raid on Tokyo, Japan. They were all downed and taken in by the Chinese in Japanese-occupied territory, and eventually returned to a hero's welcome.
You can see World War II films that capture the essence of the era, and we have a B-25 bomber built in 1940. The hangar we occupy was built as Republic Aviation, and during the war, 9,000 P-47 fighter planes were built here. It was one of the top planes built during the war and was the biggest and heaviest single-seat fighter.
We have a special section dedicated to the WASPs, the Women Air Force Service Pilots. While aviators were all fighting the war, these women pilots, who were experienced in smaller craft, were able to fly these much more difficult and larger planes. From 1942 to 1944, they provided a significant and important benefit to the war effort by delivering these planes from the factory to the nearest Army bases. We celebrate their contribution with this special exhibit.
The C-47. One of its most important missions was the D-Day invasion. June 6, 1944. 800 planes took off from England and dropped 13,000 paratroopers from the 82nd and 101st Airborne behind German lines. It was a successful operation, although we suffered tremendous losses. This is a Grumman Prowler. It has a 30-year-old design and is still in operation. It's an electronic warfare plane. It has a pilot and 3 technician crewmen, and is used in jamming and monitoring operations. The large bubble on the tail is where much of the antenna equipment is located, and pods below the wings send out the jamming signals. The large nozzle above the nose is the refueling cone. This plane can travel thousands of miles due to its ability to refuel in flight. This is another plane made locally. The F-105 could carry over 12,000 pounds of ordnance. That's more than the B-17 Flying Fortress. This is the General Dynamics F-111. It was used in Vietnam and more successfully in Iraq and Libya. It was the first plane with wings that could sling back, allowing even more lift and higher speeds. This is the P-40. And it was designed before World War II and was heavily used in all theaters of operation, including the China-Burma-India area, and initially flown by volunteer flyers and was eventually added into the service. It was not a high-performance plane, but was durable and easy to maintain. It had a particular method of attacking Japanese Zeros, which were more maneuverable. It would attack from high above, make its one run, and then leave the combat area. It was a successful tactic also used in the European theater. It's 1935, and we're looking at an open cockpit Wacko biplane. President Roosevelt instituted a program where college seniors would get flight training as a qualification and precursor to the more advanced planes used in the military. The Warthog was designed to support ground troops and was considered a tank buster in Libya and Iraq. We have a model of the USS carrier, the Intrepid, the same carrier located in the Hudson River in New York City. We have a flight simulator where you can climb aboard and fly the area. Take hold of these realistic controls and become a true aviator. Come see our many diorama, including a recreation of World War I trench warfare. See the numerous displays of World War II planes. These are scaled models built by professionals that are rich in detail and history. You will see battleships and submarines, attack planes in dogfights, and memorials to the attack on Pearl Harbor and the Japanese surrender.
Don't forget to visit the Cockpit USA gift shop, where you can purchase models, t-shirts, and authentic World War I and World War II era-based clothing and collectibles. From medals, badges, to dummy shells, and even swim trunks. We have it all. You can sign up for a flight and take off in a vintage craft and see the sky as a true aviator. We host special events, and you can relive the action by taking a guided airborne tour and go from the mission meeting to a simulated jump and debrief afterwards. By visiting the American Airpower Museum, you will gain a new understanding by learning about Long Island's important industrial role in World War II.
Today, no American aviation museum with a squadron of operational World War II aircrafts has a more appropriate setting for its flight operations. Taxiing to the very runways and hangars that dispatch thunderbolts to war, vintage aircrafts recreate those turbulent years and allow the public to watch these planes in their natural environment, the air.
This exciting effort to keep our history alive is made possible through state grants, corporate underwriting, personal philanthropy, and gifts from people like you.
The museum's strategic mission is the preservation of the legacy of all Americans who have sacrificed themselves to defend our liberties and to educate a new generation regarding the courage, valor, and heroism of our nation's citizen soldiers by presenting the operational aircraft and armor in the museum's collection and its related displays, exhibits, and programs. Thank you.